unthinkable tragedy. 5 people found dead inside a Denver metro apartment.
There does not appear to be any blunt trauma or any violent incident.
One adult and a baby survived.
I hope the parents were not in there, but been doing this long enough.
Neighbors quick to speculate as the investigation is only beginning.
I automatically assumed it was a drug overdose.
There were some substances that could be described as illicit narcotics.
And we're under a Denver 7 weather action day.
This cold front is headed our way. I'm tracking this storm as the snow and much colder air moves in. I'll have snow totals and timing that you can expect for this upcoming week.
Breaking tonight, 5 people dead, a woman and an infant pulled out alive. Whatever happened inside that Commerce City apartment is beyond words and beyond explanation.
It really is. Police have all but ruled out foul play or carbon monoxide poisoning, finding no evidence of either, and that leaves drugs as a very strong possibility.
The investigation is now only beginning inside the North Range Crossings apartments off 104th Avenue near Chambers.
Denver 7's Russell Haythorne is live outside that apartment complex tonight. Right now, Russell, you talked with people who knew the victims?
Yeah, Brian, and out of respect for the family, we are not using the names at this point, but those neighbors who knew the victims say they were great people, and if this was a drug overdose, it is completely unexpected. Tragedy unfolding in Commerce City tonight.
It's really very disturbing. I only found out about it because I got a text message from a coworker asking me if I was okay, because someone let her know that 5 people were dead in my apartment complex.
5 people dead inside an apartment unit, the chief calming neighborhood anxieties about any danger.
There does not appear to be any blunt trauma or any violent incident of any nature.
Chief Clint Nichols then revealing police found some sort of substance inside.
If it is going to be illicit drugs, they were very, very bad.
An adult female was taken out of the apartment alive, as well as a 4-month-old.
My understanding is the infant is doing fine, just a routine medical checkup. If it was drugs, no one was able to get to a phone and call 911 for a medical emergency, so it happened pretty quickly.
A neighbor who knew the victims requested we not show his face, but shared a few things about them tonight.
They're awesome people. I mean, I've known them for 2.5 years, and I mean, you know, they're awesome people, and, you know, this is kind of devastating for all of us in the community.
Neighbors like Sharita Harrelson say they have seen more signs of drug activity around here lately.
It was very peaceful, and lately it's just been very interesting. Finding needles outside, so I don't let my son come outside and play because I don't want him to accidentally get poked by a needle, you know?
The chief with a somber and gut-wrenching message about this tragedy.
There are some people dead inside of an apartment, and an infant lived. I hope the parents were not in there, but been doing this long enough, I would probably be safe to suggest that the parents probably were inside. And so for the infant, yeah, that's going to be a long time without parents.
Just a tragic situation here. Part of the problem with cleaning up this scene is that as of an hour ago, investigators hadn't even entered the apartment because Commerce City police say they were still trying to get hazmat crews to clean up whatever illicit substance the chief was talking about. So it will likely be several more hours, possibly through the night, before these teams of investigators are out of here. Brian, back to you.
You've been on that horrific scene all night hustling to get us that information. Russell, thank you. The investigation started less than 7 hours ago, and police are already pointing towards drugs. So we wanted to add a little context showing just how widespread this drug crisis is. The nonpartisan group Colorado Health Institute crunched state data. They found that 1,477 Coloradans died of drug overdoses in 2020. That's an increase of 38% over the previous year. The spike in opioid deaths was even more significant, 54%. 68% of those can be linked back to one drug, fentanyl.
All right, we're under a Denver 7 weather action day tonight. Futurecast shows the system that'll have its grasp on Colorado for the next several days is on its way. Meteorologist Stacey Donaldson's tracking it all hour by hour. And Stacey, this storm packs it all. Serious cold, serious snow.
That's right. We've seen our last 60-degree day for a while. That was this afternoon, 63 degrees for our official afternoon high. By Tuesday, we'll only have a high of 12 degrees with the snow moving on through. So our weather headlines include a cold front for tomorrow. The snow starts first in the mountains in the morning, into the metro by the evening. That Arctic air really settling in by Tuesday. And we'll have about 3 days of snow off and on getting in toward the end of the week. Our next storm here is sitting just off to the northwest. It's headed this direction. We already have a lot of watches and warnings here in effect for western Colorado for high amounts of snow, especially here from Aspen all the way down toward Telluride with these winter storm warnings up to about 8 to 16 inches from Monday afternoon until Tuesday morning. And then down through southeastern Colorado, we have high fire danger. As for tomorrow, we'll have a high of 48 degrees. Temperatures will be dropping in through the afternoon as the cold front moves through, along with that snow showing up. And we'll talk more about snow totals expected here for the Denver area coming up.
All right, thank you, Stacey. And weather is already making the President's Day weekend interesting in the high country. This is the live look right now along I-70 in Vail. Smooth sailing through the area tonight, but State Patrol had to close the highway this evening because icy conditions. No surprise here, but Monday is by far the busiest day headed back to the Denver Metro. CDOT and State Patrol have increased DUI patrols through the holiday weekend.
These numbers alone should make people rethink driving drunk or high. So far this year, CDOT says 33 people have been killed in crashes. Nearly half of those, 16, involved an impaired driver. The Super Bowl DUI enforcement last weekend netted 89 arrests statewide. All right, it's been 1 week since Melinda Tafoya del Toro called 911 for help and vanished. Police are still holding out hope that someone has seen her. Tafoya del Toro called 911 last Sunday when her car got stuck in the snow in Clear Creek County. Deputies found the car, but no sign of her.
A disturbing trend across the country found just down the road here in Parker. Neighbors woke up to anti-Semitic flyers in their front yards. Colette Bordelon spoke with homeowners who say the message will not be tolerated.
2022, this should not be going on.
Found in the grass.
It's upsetting. It's disturbing. I have no words, really.
And on the road.
This is really the first time me voicing anything like this or stepping up to the plate, as they call it.
Ken Buffington, who lives in Parker, is surrounded by these flyers.
I was born Catholic, and my wife is Jewish. And my kids were raised Jewish.
His daughter found one in their front yard.
And when I went back and looked at my cameras, I was able to determine that it happened at 2:24 in the morning. It says every single aspect of the COVID agenda is Jewish. I don't see how they can even make that claim.
Similar flyers have been found all over the country.
No matter what your religion, no matter what your beliefs, it is offensive.
Some neighbors chose not to go on camera, but want to make sure their voices are heard by the people who did this.
I'd like to say you should be ashamed of yourself, but I'm sure they don't care.
The flyers were reported to Parker police, who say they're not criminal in nature and are considered freedom of speech, so they won't be investigated any further.
Whether they consider this a criminal act or not, it's still, to me, some form of a hate crime.
Regardless of legality, Buffington says there's no question about the message on the papers.
Our souls shouldn't be about hatred.
In Parker, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
This week, a Douglas County court will start looking into a lawsuit against the Douglas County School Board. This lawsuit claims the board's conservative majority violated Colorado's open meeting laws in the days leading up to the firing of Superintendent Corey Wise. Now, the law requires any meeting of 3 or more elected officials are held publicly. Well, the board members involved claim they never met as a group, only having one-on-one conversations and a series of phone calls. Well, many Douglas County teachers protested the firing of the superintendent, but I'm hearing from several teachers now who feel they have a target on their backs. Lois Everett tells me she's worked off and on for Douglas County Schools for almost 20 years and loves her job. But she felt the superintendent was treated unfairly, so she took a personal day to rally with hundreds of other teachers. Then she got that email saying the district was going to publicly release her name, along with all the teachers who took that day off. Well, turns out the request for the teachers' names was withdrawn, but the damage was done.
I felt scared. I felt threatened. I felt betrayed. I really felt like it was retaliation for trying to have my voice heard.
Several teachers in Dougco also had threatening flyers placed on their cars this week. Because of all that, Lois says she doesn't think she will return to Dougco schools next year and will look in other districts. Well, Thursday, the district sent a public message in an email saying they will not tolerate behavior that threatens, intimidates, or harasses their staff.
All right, a new report sums up rent costs perfectly. Insane. Realtor.com found the median rental price rose nationwide last year more than 19%. 19% in 1 year. We wanted to take a closer look at specifically the Denver Metro. Realtor.com shows the median rent price here is just over $1,900. That's up nearly 18% in the past year. As for the reasons, the report says it's an issue of supply and demand. On nights as heavy as this, we could all use some hope.
And that is what you will find as you watch Marco Struck walk through the doors of his Denver apartment. Struck was homeless the last 5 years after losing his job. He would sleep in a tent in Cheeseman Park, falling into substance abuse and then thoughts of suicide. Well, he got out of the hospital and decided to turn his life around. Struck went from a tent to a safe outdoor space and now affordable housing with the help of Richard DILWORTH and the Colorado Village Collaborative.
He looks better physically, he's smiling more, he's happy. He has a zest for life that wasn't really there when I first met him, and really excited about his future.
Like seriously, if it wasn't for you, this is life. This is awesome. This is what it's all about right here. Is peer support from good people, from good organizations.
Such a great story. Struck was one of the lucky ones. He was awarded his apartment in the Denver Housing Authority's lottery.
He moved in at the end of January and is in the process of looking for a job.
In the competition to buy the Broncos, someone new was throwing their hat in the ring. How they want to raise billions with cryptocurrency.
Plus, auto theft is a Colorado epidemic, but there's one community that must be doing something right.
Over the last 6 months or so, it has been an absolute game changer for our organization.
The technology they credit with a steep drop in stolen cars.
Plus, say goodbye to the sunny 60s and hello to the snow. The Arctic blast about to explode in Colorado.
And a Denver 7 everyday hero who came to Colorado to make a difference in a village on the other side of the world.
I've already gotten a piece of land where I'm gonna build a school